Good morning. Today is Tuesday, February 11th, and Waking Up with Wesley starts right now. I'm Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams, and today I thought we'd start off at the end. So let's get to the bottom line first, which will be how we could get a pretty decent sized cool down next week, and some places might get close to freezing. So we'll start out in the long term, and then we'll work our way back to the short term because pretty shortly here tomorrow we have a risk of severe weather, so we do want to cover that. So without further ado, let's get to the information. So let's take a look at the high temperature today. The forecast is calling for highs in the upper 70s in some parts of South Mississippi. There's a look at the map. You can see there's a cool front to our north. We'll be tapping into warm air from the Gulf, so we'll see highs in the 70s. One or two spots might come close to 80 in South Mississippi today. But let's fast forward to Sunday. And what will happen by then, we get a powerful cold front. This is the one that brings the risk of severe weather Saturday night that we'll talk about later. But behind it, once we turn drier Sunday, some much cooler air will be rolling in from the north, and that will help us to get to a pretty nice cool down at times next week. So you look at the high temperatures over the next 7 days, and you can see that for the next few days, no huge drops, although it will become cooler on Thursday and Valentine's Day Friday. Quickly back up on Saturday with a quick moving system that brings some storms Saturday night, and then the powerful cold front, which will drop us into the 60s, maybe 50s on Sunday, and then no more 50s on Monday. Now, you look at this and, it stops on Monday, February 17th. You might be thinking, oh, well, this is the beginning of a long spell of cool air, and that might not be entirely true because we can take a look at the 10-day forecast for highs. And now that we can see past Monday's 58 right there, we actually go back up to next Tuesday, 67, next Wednesday, 68, and then come back down to 55 by next Thursday, the 20th. So it all in all looks like a bit of a roller coaster ride temperature-wise. Now, those are your high temperatures. We haven't mentioned the word freezing yet, because to see freezing, you need the low temperatures, the ones that you hit at night and in the morning. And I think that we're going to see those freezing temperatures at times next week. This is a look at the risk of freezing for places like Gulfport. Notice that on Monday, and this would be in the morning, there's a low risk of freezing temperatures. There's also another one next Thursday morning. But that's pretty close to the water, right, Gulfport? There's other places that are inland like Wiggins, and it's much easier for the temperature to get even colder at night. So Wiggins has a higher risk of freezing temperatures. Next Monday morning, maybe next Tuesday morning, a low risk, and then next Thursday morning, moderately low risk, and then next Friday morning, a low risk. Now, we can show you all of those exact numbers. These numbers are going to fluctuate as we check back on the forecast each day. But if you focus on the long range, here's the Gulfport, the coastal zone, and you can see Monday morning 36, but Wiggins, the inland zone, Monday morning 32. So could have a morning freeze in places like Wiggins next Monday morning, whereas it might not come all the way down to 32, but it'll still be pretty cold. Monday morning 30s on the coast. Then you got the next morning 40s on the coast, 30s inland, and then we go skip ahead past Wednesday, maybe another rain system, showers possible. Behind that system, back down to some cold 30s next Thursday morning, not too far from freezing for places like Wiggins and inland areas. And looks like we will still see some cold 30s on the coast. So just wanted to give you that heads up, looking down the line into the long range forecast, that we are beginning to see signs of temperatures so cold that could bring a risk of freezing temperatures. I know I've actually had a number of questions from viewers, are we going to get cold again? Are we done with the freezes? And like I always say, I've always heard that old wives' tale, the old folklore. There's always one last freeze before Easter. And this year, Easter is April 20th. So we have a long way to go. We got all this month, all next month, and plenty of April before we get to Easter. So I would not count freezing temperatures out. So now that we've covered the long range, let's go back to the short range and talk about today and tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. So there's a look at your 3-day forecast. Today, hit or miss showers. Tomorrow, thunderstorms, especially afternoon. We'll keep a high rain chance tomorrow night, and then it turns drier on Thursday. So this will kind of help you to put it all together. You can see the amount of rain. Today, the amount of rain, light, hit or miss showers. Some of you might not get any rain at all, and those that do, the amounts are going to be light, probably less than 1 inch. You could get a quick downpour, but if you measure with your rain gauge, the amount will likely be less than 1 inch. Now tomorrow, we're probably going to see more frequent downpours, more widespread showers and storms. And some of those could turn strong to severe. The best timing for that sort of stormier weather would be in the afternoon and the evening. And frankly, a lot of it could be right around 9 p.m. or later. We'll explain why on the Futurecast in a few moments. Thursday, so Thursday starts at midnight, right? That's what this map is showing. It starts in the early morning hours. Maybe there's some light showers departing around sunrise. But eventually, once the sun comes up, Thursday's rain chances are going to go down. So Thursday's the day when it turns drier. But there's a look at today. We mentioned the rain chance, the hit or miss showers. We are also mentioning those temperatures, like we said earlier, pretty warm stuff here, 70s if not 80 in a few spots. But look at this wind from the south. That's that wind off the Gulf, so that is pulling in higher humidity. And that's one thing that I've noticed steadily this morning. Those dew point numbers have come up and up steadily. So even though we had some, not as humid air around 2 or 3 o'clock earlier in the morning, the air has become much, much muggier. It's kind of like, tropical almost, with the dew point almost at 70 degrees. And that added moisture in the air makes it much easier for rain showers to develop. So that's why our chance for rain today is a bit higher than yesterday. Speaking of rain, do we see any rain on first alert radar? Looks like most of the rain at this moment in time kind of over the Alabama line. Earlier this morning, we did see some showers in Harrison and Jackson counties, but looks like catching a break. We'll see 40% chance of rain for the rest of the morning. Might pop up to 50% if we can see new development in the afternoon. This is a look at the Futurecast. We're going to look at 2 Futurecasts. This one's zoomed out, and then we're going to take a look at a zoomed in one afterwards. So here's Tuesday morning, and like the reality shows, there are some showers over in Alabama, but there's not much rain over here in South Mississippi. So maybe we'll get some kind of breaks in the rain this morning. But as we go to this afternoon, take a look at this. Between noon and 3 p.m., we are seeing new development, new showers developing over the area in random locations. So if you have some plans outside Tuesday, noon to 3 p.m., could begin to see new showers popping up in random spots. This continues through 6 p.m. with some random showers. And you're looking up to the north, there's kind of a front that's going to miss us on the coast, but places like Macomb and Hattiesburg get a pretty good downpour out of that. But I think for the most part, might not see much from that as it kind of scoots just to our north. Now on Wednesday, you saw in the morning hours, had this little band of showers move in from the Gulf. So might have some morning rain already moving in the first part of Wednesday. But the best chance for rain on Wednesday will likely occur afternoon. This is a look at Wednesday. The clock strikes noon. You don't see much on our 6 southernmost counties. But then we go to 3 p.m., bam. Look at that. We are looking at the 6 southernmost counties chock full of downpours and maybe even a few rumbles of thunder. So the chance of rain is at its highest beginning Wednesday afternoon. Now we could get into a situation here where if you want to split hairs, maybe most of the rain at times on Wednesday evening might occur in our inland 3 most counties, Pearl River, Stone, and George. And maybe we might catch more breaks on the coastal counties, Hancock, Harrison, Jackson, but that's really getting into the weeds. But the scenario is on the table in which that could happen, because we're going to see most of the activity trying to move northward initially. It's going to move in from the Gulf and it will move northward. Meanwhile, there's going to be this other area that we're watching for later at night that's going to hit Baton Rouge around 6 or 7, and that's going to move in from the west as we go to Wednesday night. And that's where I think we're going to see our severe potential kind of maximized, because this looks like a squall line to me. And so whenever you have a squall line, you're looking at a straight line wind gust potential. And we're seeing that as this kind of squall line gets better organized, it's going to try to kind of gust out some winds out ahead of it. And that's one easy way to get some severe thunderstorm warnings triggered in the area because of a straight line wind gust. So be watching for that time frame around or after 9 p.m. Maybe we're put under a severe thunderstorm watch, or maybe we're put under a few warnings after 9 p.m. as that squall line will really ramp up the straight line wind gust potential. And we'll see if, some of that can materialize in the area as we go to Wednesday night. Those showers and storms, downpours strong to severe. But then by Wednesday, or rather Thursday morning, looks like after 3 in the morning, most of the rain is gone, and we spend the rest of Thursday drying out and cooling off a little bit. So now we'll show you the more zoomed in Futurecast view of our 6 southernmost counties, and let's take a look at that. So we can see Tuesday, the morning hours, not much happening, but the afternoon, a few pop-up showers in a few places, kind of hit or miss. Not everyone gets those. And then a close call with some inland rain on the Tuesday evening, Tuesday night time frame. And then we take a look at Wednesday. The morning hours could feature some showers at times, but the best chance for thunderstorms on Wednesday will be in the afternoon. And you're looking at Wednesday afternoon, 1 p.m., got some storms over the area. And sometimes when these initial storms develop, when they're sitting by themselves alone, like a little rogue supercell might try to rotate and form, and that could kind of elevate the tornado risk. You're seeing those kind of congealing a bit more and having more of a heavy rain threat by 3 p.m. And then you don't really have any more kind of isolated cells, perhaps by the time we get to the 4, 5, 6 p.m. time frame. And then finally, that final push with perhaps a squall line and some straight line wind gusts, especially between 9 p.m. and midnight. That's, a nighttime threat. If you're in bed asleep, you want to pay attention in case you get an alert on your phone. You need to wake up and get to your safe place in your home. Now, I did check. The last time we had a tornado warning or a severe thunderstorm warning was in late December. So it's been more than 40 days. Maybe that streak will come to an end. We are monitoring this area in green and yellow for that severe weather risk on Wednesday and Wednesday night. And, the green is a level 1. The yellow is a level 2. The higher the level means the higher the risk or the higher the probability of actually seeing severe weather. When we say severe weather, we're talking about a very specific thing, not necessarily lightning, not necessarily heavy rain, but actually things that cause damage. Like this, damaging straight line wind gusts. The potential for that is very low for most of us, but it is slightly higher near Poplarville, Wiggins. Things like tornadoes, the potential for that is really limited for most of us, other than a brief week spin up, but the potential is slightly higher for places that are inland like Poplarville and Wiggins. Hail the size of a quarter or bigger, kind of near zero risk of that. Once hail is smaller than the size of a quarter, it doesn't cause damage, and maybe we'll see some smaller hail like pea-sized, but not really looking at a risk of hail bigger than a quarter. Now, Wednesday is that first round, another round going into Saturday night, and I think that one has the potential for a higher probability of severe weather, so that's why we're keeping a close eye on your weekend. And this is a final look at that 7-day forecast. As you can see, that risk of high rain chances going into tomorrow p.m. and again on Saturday night. Your Valentine's Day Friday, not looking terrible, but the chance of rain is not zero, so there could be a few pop-up showers. Going to be a little cooler, which just gives you an extra excuse to cuddle with the one you love as you go on a date or something, right? So hopefully you enjoyed all of the jam-packed information that I tried to squeeze into this 10-15 minute update on your Tuesday, February 11th edition of Waking Up with Wesley. I've been Senior Meteorologist Wesley Williams. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.